Taryn. Yeah, I did use that shit, bro.
Yeah. Well, welcome to episode 14, is it?
I have no idea.
It's like 14, 15,
I don't
something
count
like
it
that.
until like after we're done. I look at the channels. How many have we done? Fucking
I'm
dead serious. That's how I do.
I'm Esco. This is Jane. Welcome to the At Ease podcast, or the At Ease cast, rather. Thanks for all the support we've gotten in the last few episodes. Our shorts are doing really good. Our episodes are doing fairly decent.
Yeah, 14. It's 14.
Yeah. So, just a quick reminder: when you guys watch this, it really helps the algorithms if you like the videos. So hit the little thumb button. Subscriptions help a lot more as well with the algorithms. Given the topics that we cover on this podcast, they get throttled. So
Yeah, easily, quickly. The fact that we don't hold our tongue with language, and we've never looked at the words that are banned on YouTube, so we have no idea what they are. So
don't care.
We don't give a shit.
Don't care.
There are other platforms that we use, like Rumble.
Yeah, we're on Rumble as well.
We posted anything on Twitter yet?
We've been posting on Twitter and
what else?
So Rumble, Twitter, and YouTube.
So
is the main
YouTube
ones.
is the easiest one to for us to post to, but we post to other things. And yeah, we don't give a shit about YouTube's guidelines or what words need to be bleeped or left out or anything like that. We simply don't care.
Yeah, it's just
We're not trying to make money off this channel.
the truth is what what it is, and it's why we discuss things here. We believe in and just being right straight up and down the middle. Like, it don't matter which side of the aisle you're from. If you're wrong, you're wrong, and if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. I don't care if you're Trump or Mitt Romney. It don't matter. So with that said, we just kind of like to keep things about as honest as we can make them, and
We try to get as much facts as possible, but most of the show is our opinions.
Yeah, it's opinion based for the most part, but
pretty clear.
But one of the main focus is to get you guys to conduct your own research on stuff, because it's extremely difficult to get to the root of some of these things, and the general media out there is doing a lot of disinformation. I hate that word, but using disinformation to kind of draw your attention away from the actual issues that are affecting our nation or affecting our day to day. Normally, like, I remember back in the day when politics didn't really affect us all that much, and it wasn't really that intrusive into our everyday lives. But now it's just becoming. So the reason for this podcast is, like, there's nothing that we don't do on a daily day that hasn't been impacted by somebody's crappy decisions. You know, it's just some person thousands of miles away thinks that something's all right, and next thing you know, you're paying $3 for gas, or or you're paying freaking exuberant amounts for freaking bananas at the supermarket. Whatever, milk is like extremely expensive.
Or the overwhelming thing that these politicians and people that are making decisions on behalf of other people are completely out of touch with those people.
Yeah, they're completely out of touch.
They only interact with the folks that are in their same social circle, their same economic circle, and they don't talk to people like you or I.
No, they're out of touch, man. But and we'll get into some of that when towards the end of the podcast, when we start talking a little bit about policy and things that because I mean we can armchair quarterback this stuff all we can, but in the end, we can just try to inspire people to kind of think for yourself and look for stuff and look for the actual truth on things, and don't take what the media tells you on. Hell, don't take what we tell you at face value. Just freaking listen to it, hear it, and go do your own research and either prove it right or prove it wrong. I don't care. Say it in the comments. If say it in the comments. If you say, hey, this is I've looked into this is completely wrong, say it. We don't care. It's another opportunity to learn. It's the way we see it. We're always
We try to reply to all the comments that we get on any of our posts.
Yeah.
We try to get a discussion going that way, or get information across things. So
And that,
what you see recorded might not be the whole story. You might need to look at the comments to see what else is going on.
and that brings us into current news and current events and stuff like that, and it's kind of funny how, we just talked about how the disinformation and things, and how things are happening on one hand, and things are, and it's being obscured by other things. Well, while we're all doing this stuff, we have a funny story out of Korea.
Ooh, which one? Yeah.
The story.
The story.
Yeah.
The story that hit, if you're not aware, there was a U.S. soldier that, and just skimming the surface, the U.S. soldier was confined in Korea. He was in the airport, I believe he was in the airport in Osan, to board a flight from Korea to Fort Bliss, Texas, where they were going to do whatever UCMJ on him, Uniform Code of Military Justice. It's the military's way of holding a trial or charging somebody with a crime. Doing that, and he actually, instead of sitting at the airport and waiting for his flight back to Fort Bliss, he got on with a civilian tour group that was going on a tour of the DMZ, which happens every day, several times a day. Civilians, both South Korean and American, and anybody that comes into the country, will get on these civilian tour groups, go up to the DMZ, take a look at the wire, take a look at the sites, take a look at a lot of these guys that are wearing, especially the South Korean soldiers that are wearing these really nice uniforms. They look real sharp, they're big dudes, and they're pretty intimidating looking. You can look across the border with like binoculars and stuff and see the North Koreans looking back at you, because it's not that big of a distance across the 30th parallel and the DMZ. So it's a normal tour thing, and he was on that tour at the DMZ, found an opportunity, and he bolted from South Korea across the border into North Korea. And now the North Koreans have him in custody. As far as I understand, at the time of this recording, which is about 8:20 p.m. on Friday the 21st, the United States is not sure of that young man's condition. They have no idea. And this young man is named Travis King. I'm not picking up what rank he was.
He's an E2.
He was an E2? Just a private E2?
Yeah, he's been reduced.
Private second class.
I don't know if he was reduced in rank, or that's just...
It's private second class. Private E2.
Private E2. So he spent the last 45 days or so in Korean custody. Because apparently...
From what I understand, it was for assault.
For assault, he freaking...
Like 48 days in custody.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And the guy... Worst AWOL ever. Oh, fucking idiot.
I got something else on that.
What?
Not the worst AWOL ever. He's not the first one to do this.
Oh, come on.
There have been several U.S. soldiers that have crossed the border in North Korea.
Come on. You got to give me more than that.
Several. It's not the worst AWOL. We don't know if he's coming back, if he wants to come back, whatever, but there have been several. In 1962, there were 2 U.S. soldiers across the border in North Korea. Larry Abshir and James Joseph Dresnock. James Dresnock is a famous defector.
Oh, okay.
So there have been documentaries on him. There's been a documentary crew that went to North Korea to interview him. I've seen these documentaries. They're pretty good documentaries. He is a real piece of shit. He's just a garbage human being. But yeah, Dresnock went to North Korea in '62, and then he became a movie star. This is him saying, "This is what I remember from the documentary." He was just disappointed in the way the military was treating him, because he was a fucking private. Treats all privates like shit. I mean, if you didn't know that if you don't know that and you're planning on going in the military treats privates like shit. That's just the way it is. So,
I mean,
he didn't like getting treated like a private, so he ran to North Korea while he was stationed in South Korea, and got captured by the Koreans, and then he integrated into North Korean life. And during that documentary, like, he was all about the North Korean thing. Yeah, he's just a real piece of shit. I don't know if he's dead now. I hope he is.
This is more or less where I would say, I was like, their fucking legs. And then you'd be like, Boberto.
Yeah, because Dresnok is an infantryman.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean,
I don't know if he was airborne.
so is what I'm getting at. It's not mutually exclusive to any particular part of the military. It's just kind of like
Dresnok, Parrish, Jenkins, Roy Chung, Joseph White, and now Travis King. So
Yeah.
a total of 7 from 1962 to 2023. A total of 7 U.S. soldiers have crossed into North Korea.
that's so dumb.
Yes, it's really stupid.
It's so dumb. They don't eat very well over there, man.
No, they
It's
die
like-
all the time. They have
It's
extreme famine times of year. If
Oh,
you
yeah,
listen
I
to
think
any of the North Korean defectors that have escaped North Korea and come
well,
like
the last one, the last military North Korean soldier that I think he was like a lieutenant or something. He defected to South Korea, and he did a freaking medical exam.
oh,
on
the
him.
guy that was shot like 4 times
I
crossing
don't know
by the North
I don't
Koreans.
know how many times he was hit or if he was hit at all, but they did a medical exam on him. He had more worms than muscles.
Yeah.
He was full of worms.
Yeah, full of parasites.
Full of parasites and worms. I was like, geez Louise, that dude been eating dirt for like, I don't know how long.
Hey, listen to what's her name?
And,
What's that girl's name? She wrote a book about it and everything.
Well, I mean, they've had, North Korea was famous for kidnapping Japanese. So,
They're famous for kidnapping a whole bunch of people. They've kidnapped Ugandans, South Africans, Japanese. They've captured British people. They've captured Chinese people, South Koreans.
what do they do with them?
Malaysians. They
Where do they put 'em?
from some of the documentaries that I've gotten. Fuck me for not having the documentary titles off the top of my head. I don't remember, but a lot of these, especially if they're foreign, they're used in a breeding program. So they'll match them with either other foreigners that are in the country or other North Koreans, so they can get mixed children and then use them as either propaganda pieces or as spies. And that's from those documentaries. And that's actually what happened to James Dresnok. James Dresnok was fucking matched with I think a Ukrainian that they had captured, a Ukrainian model, and she was married to him. She was captured. She wasn't going nowhere, but she was married to him, and they had 2 kids, and those 2 kids are like 6'2" white kids, blue eyes, blonde hair. Both of them speak fluent Korean. They sound like Korean people.
Yeah.
Like they have they speak English, but they speak English with a very thick Korean accent.
Yeah.
So I mean, but they're about as white as any like Nordic motherfucker you've ever met. So.
God, so
But that's a theory of what it is. I'm not in the intelligence service. I never have been. And some of that is it's actually like documented proof that that's what they're doing. That they're using these foreign people that they have captured in some way in a breeding program, so they can get mixed people to use as spies or as
it's like the
propaganda
island,
pieces.
like the island of Dr. Moreau, but for people, you know. I mean, like for
More nefarious though.
huh?
Yeah. You and Me Park. That's the lady's name. I was
Yeah,
trying to think
Yui
of.
Park. Yeah. She's been on a bunch of podcasts.
Yeah. She does the podcast circuit quite a bit.
She looks like she's made of plastic. Yeah.
She's gorgeous though.
I mean, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like she had, like it's like no imperfections in her skin or
No,
something.
no.
At least on video,
Yeah.
it's like she's made out of porcelain or something.
Very shiny skin.
But yeah, that guy, man, what a dumbass. Or not. I mean,
No, it's pretty stupid.
I mean, maybe.
And the thing is, the North Koreans have the same kind of mentality that any country had during the Cold War. So if an American defected to the Soviet Union with nothing but his person, you're fucked. They're probably going to put you in a gulag, beat the shit out of you, do whatever the hell they want to you, and maybe they'll use you as a prisoner exchange, and that's about the best you're going to hope for. But if you defect to the Soviet Union with some kind of new weapon or some kind of new aircraft,
you gotta have some
kind of
value.
new, right? So that was the thing. One of those guys that I mentioned, and I don't remember who it was, but they came over to North Korea with a working M16A1.
Yeah, there's some
And
value.
the North Koreans didn't have access to those weapons, so now they have one of those weapons, and they can study the weapon and see what makes it tick and blah, blah, blah. So it had value to it. He actually got a bit of money from that. That's what Dresnok was saying in one of those documentaries. But also, you can see it on the flip side. There was a North Korean that defected. I don't remember when. He ended up becoming a professor in Florida. I just don't remember his name. And I think he defected in the 60s or 70s. But he was a MiG pilot. And he took a MiG from North Korea, flew it across the border. By some grace of God, did not get intercepted.
Bet that was dicey, bro.
Did not get. Let me look that guy up.
Like that.
So he wasn't chased by the North Koreans, and he wasn't intercepted by the South Korean or the American Air Forces. And he just landed on an American Air Force base with a fucking MiG, while an American aircraft, I think a Phantom, was coming in and landing at the same time, going the opposite direction. They almost crashed.
Oh, dude, you gotta look that up. You gotta look that up. That's dicey, bro. I mean, we saw it on. I mean, Top Gun, freaking Tom Cruise freaking stole an F-14 in the last movie. But that's dicey, man. So, I mean, especially, I don't know how good of a grasp of the English language that guy may have had. The language could be a barrier. You know, the pilot.
Yeah.
Because they can talk to each other in the sky. But that's dicey. Take an aircraft.
Is this the
bold move?
So he went by the name Kenneth Rowe in the United States when he came here. He was born No Kum Suk. N-O, yeah, I know. N-O. K-U-M-S-O-K. He was born in 1932. He died in 2022.
What was that? Something wrong?
That one crash in California, was that 10 years ago? Somebody trolled the news, like something wrong.
We too low.
We too low. Yeah.
Ding bang pow.
I remember that.
Oh God, those names, man.
All right, so here's the quick overview. This is on Wikipedia on his defection. On the morning of September 21st, 1953, he flew his MiG-15 from Sunan, just outside of Pyongyang, to Kimpo Air Base in South Korea. The time from takeoff in North Korea to landing in South Korea was 17 minutes. He was not chased by North Korean aircraft, nor was he interdicted by American or ground forces. U.S. radar near Kimpo had been shut down temporarily that morning for routine maintenance. He got fucking lucky.
Yeah, bro.
Landed the wrong way on a runway, almost hitting an F-86 Sabre, not an F-4 Phantom, an F-86 Sabre. Landing at the same time but from the opposite direction. It's Captain Dave William flying that aircraft, veered out of the way, exclaimed over the radio, "It's a goddamn MiG." Yeah, shit yourself. What the fuck? Why is there a MiG here and why is it landing?
Yeah.
After being taken into custody and debriefed by a CIA operative, don't know, okay, they're using a cover name. No received, no, his name is no.
Yeah.
So no received a $100,000 bonus, today's equivalent to $1.1 million. Reward offered by Operation Moolah, nice name, for Moolah, yeah, for being the first pilot to defect with an operational aircraft, which he said he never heard of prior to his defection. He wasn't there for the money, he was trying to get the fuck out of North Korea. His MiG is currently on display at the National Museum of the United States Air Force.
That's not bad.
I know he became a professor of aeronautical engineering. I just don't know where. Let's see. He subsequently graduated from the University of Delaware with degrees in mechanical and electrical engineering. Married. I think he married another defector from North Korea, a lady that escaped North Korea. Yeah. Worked as an aeronautical engineer for Grumman, Boeing, Pan Am, General Dynamics, General Motors, General Electric, Lockheed, DuPont, and Westinghouse. Yeah, this guy ain't no joke. He's a genius.
So he wasn't no dummy.
Rowe retired in 2000 after working 17 years as an aeronautical engineer professor at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Florida. Yeah.
Oh, so no dummy there.
No, hell no. He's a fighter pilot from North Korea, multiple degrees, aeronautical engineer, electrical engineer. Yeah. Born No Kum Suk. He went by the name Kenneth H. Rowe, R-O-W-E. If y'all want to look him up. Yeah, North Korean defector. But yeah, that was a crazy story that I heard once. I just haven't remember some of the key points of it. But yeah.
Well, I guess since we're in the same vein of the defectors, you know.
Yeah, but the defectors out of North Korea are so much better than the defectors.
Yeah, because you're going towards freedom, not towards. That's like.
Look at the quality of the defector.
That's like volunteering. Yeah, we get an aeronautical engineer.
A genius.
They get some that don't know freaking his ass from a hole in the ground.
Hey, here's the thing.
You know,
Not just this guy. Not this guy, Travis King. And I have no idea what the kid's background is. He's a private in the Army.
he's a moron, for sure.
He's a fucking moron for doing it in the first place. But I mean, any of these other guys. So the last person that defected before Travis King, at least on this list, is Joseph T. White in 1982. So I could probably look up every one of these guys that defected before Travis King, and they're all dipshits.
Yeah.
I guarantee. I'm not going to do it. I know Dresnock is. I know Abshager is. The rest of them, I have no idea who they are, but I don't give a shit who they are. They defected to North Korea.
Yeah. I mean, what? Oh man, dude, it's like volunteering for a life sentence with hard labor. That don't make like you think running away from UCMJ and Fort Bliss is bad?
Yeah, that's what. For assault, it's a minor charge.
Dude, no.
Is it a general discharge?
He may get a general discharge at worst.
A general discharge, not even a dishonorable.
At worst.
A general discharge.
General under honorable. At worst.
It seems like he already served his sentence to South Korea if the South Koreans convicted of a crime, which I'm assuming they did because he spent 43 days in jail.
Yeah. I mean...
I'm not going to look him up because I don't give a fuck about him. He defected to North Korea. Fucking I don't care.
That's dumb. That's dumb. And that's very different from a hostile nation holding an American citizen.
Right.
You know,
right.
Just
that's him hopping the border willingly.
That's just him willingly, just like. Because reports say that he was laughing all the way, like
I heard that too.
Ha, ha, you know, as he.
I don't know what you're laughing at. You have no idea what's across that border.
Joke's on you, stupid.
Yeah.
Like jokes on you. I don't know if they told you, but.
You did not. You did not get. We got. I was okay. So I was stationed in South Korea.
They don't like black people up there.
Well, they don't really have an issue with black people. I've seen. I don't think they like anybody in general, especially Americans.
They can thank Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Oh my God, what a moron!
It's a homogenous society, so I mean.
What a moron, dude.
They're not going to like other races, but they especially don't like Americans. They have propaganda all over their country about killing Americans.
It's just so stupid, man. Like.
He's an American.
You could have ran away when you got to Texas.
Yeah.
Just be a normal AWOL. Why can't you just do normal AWOLs? You know what I mean? Just do what all the AWOLs have ever done. Just get to the States, go to your dad's house, and
sit there, yeah. Until somebody pulls you over at a traffic stop.
Yeah, until you get hemmed over, fucking try to renew your driver's license or some shit.
Try to apply for a job.
Apply for a job. You're like, oh, yeah, you're... Oh, man, dude, what a dumbass. Oh, well.
And laughing the whole way.
Laughing like, okay.
That's why nobody's heard from him since, or heard about him since. The North Koreans aren't communicating about him. He can't get word out.
They're not done with the debrief.
Right. What was his job? We don't know his MOS.
I don't know. He's probably an 88 Mike or something.
All right. I don't have any cash. How much we putting on it?
I don't know. I carry plastic nowadays because I'm...
I'll just go with the 50-50 thing.
All right.
I got $5. Well, that's not really...
Dad can't even buy cigarettes with $5, bro.
$10 and shut up. Combat or non-combat?
Tell you what.
That's too easy.
No.
You want to go with 88 Mike? I'm going to go with 92 Yankee. Is that still supply or did they change it again? Pack of smokes?
Fresh pack of Newports, bro.
Let's see what's...
I say 88 Mike.
Gonna be a bunch of silence. But...
Well, I mean, that's just some 88 Mike shit to do. You know what I mean?
What, hop a border?
Who the fuck joins the army to fucking get a CDL?
I ain't never thought of it like that.
Who volunteers to be a fucking indentured servant to go fucking get a CDL? That's fucking stupid. The school's right there. They treat you fucking... You can eat whatever you want when lunchtime. You got breaks. Sleep in your own fucking bed.
Oh my God. I never thought of it like that for real.
It's the dumbest shit ever. I always looked at them fucking truck drivers like the fucking space aliens. Like, what the fuck are you doing here?
That's the thing. I never really met an 88 Mike until I was stationed at Fort Hood. Most of the truck drivers we ever had to deal with were Iraqis.
So that's the thing.
Or Kuwaitis.
Bro, the job is so insignificant, they lateral infantrymen over to drive trucks.
Yeah, with no class.
With no class, yeah. They fucking give you that license with the punch holes, you know. That for some reason has M1A1 on it. No, like, dude, come on. That guy, that's fucking crazy. I bet you it was an 88 Mike. Because hell, like I understand if you join the army to be a cook, that thing has, there's the culinary stuff. There's a freaking military culinary dude that he cooked for I don't know how many presidents.
What's that big black guy?
The big black guy. That dude started as a regular freaking military cook. And they talk about, oh, you're going to join the army, flip burgers. Nah, that's not the only thing they do, bro. They go through some...
They actually plan that shit
You may not taste it, but they go through some schooling, you know, so... And that carries weight on the outside world. You end up working for some decent operations and further your education. Like this... But you join the army to be a truck driver, you're just a truck driver. I mean, kudos to you. Most dangerous job in Iraq. Hands down.
Certainly was for a long time.
I don't give a fuck how many Navy SEALs you how many times you've gone to SEAL school, Ranger school. Being a truck driver in Iraq is about the fucking most bonkers thing anybody could do, or in Afghanistan or anywhere. I mean, that was a rough job, but begs the question, like, you know, it's not conducive to like really smart decisions. Because you look at the catalog of MOSs, it's pretty hefty. And you go like, that one right there. What is that? That's a truck driver. Fuck yeah.
So that's the thing. Like,
what?
When I have no idea what it is today. When I enlisted in the army, if you were a repeat failure on the ASVAB, and one time you just like barely skinned through by like a point or two, that was the only job you qualified for. It was 88 Mike. Infantry had a much higher intelligence requirement than 88 Mike did.
And probably nowadays is even higher for infantry because there's so much technology involved. Don't get me even started on the motormen. All that freaking...
All the math they got to do.
All the math that them cats, that's what we used to call them, fucking grunts they can add, you know? So, I mean, people make fun of combat MOSs, but there's a lot of technical stuff, and a lot of the technologies that are defeating the enemy nowadays are being driven by those same people. But truck's a fucking truck.
Yeah.
So, did you find his MOS already, or what? It's got to be out there somewhere.
You said 88 Mike?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said, God damn it.
So 92 Yankee?
Yeah, 92 Yankee Egg Supply.
We're both wrong.
Is he an infantryman?
I'm going to give you two more guesses.
God, he's a fucking tanker. Intel.
No, God. Why didn't you just say it? What? Name the top 3 MOSs that you don't respect.
Lieutenant.
That's not an MOS. Fucking butter bar.
Yeah, 88 Mike, I said. Cav Scout. Yeah. Cav Scout. Imagine that.
It's a Cav Scout.
Cav Scout.
King is a cavalry scout. The article I'm reading, I have no idea what this website is, but they go out of their way to say that he's black.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There's a section, career military service. King is a cavalry scout, a reconnaissance specialist who gathers and reports information on enemy activity and terrain. Is that what it says on the brochure? That's not what they do. He was originally assigned to an element of the 1st Armored Division based at Fort Bliss, Texas, in June 2021. He was deployed to South Korea as part of a rotational force that supports the U.S. Republic of Korea alliance and deters North Korean aggression. He was stationed at Camp Casey. Oh, so was I. Near the border of North Korea. It ain't that close to the border of North Korea.
Cav Scout.
Cav Scout. He's
Yeah.
a fucking Cav Scout.
All right. At least he wasn't in the fucking horse division.
Division or detachment?
Whatever the fuck they are.
I mean, the ones that actually take care of the real horses? The detachment.
Yeah, we don't deal with ceremonial shit.
Yeah.
I don't deal with ceremonial
Yeah,
shit.
the horse detachment.
We wear ceremonial items on our uniform, but my entire MOS is a ceremonial.
Yeah.
All right, well, but whatever. Cav Scout, truck driver, same shit.
I'm surprised it says reconnaissance specialist.
Yeah, right. Back, sure.
Fuck
Yeah,
outta
back,
here.
back in the fucking Spanish-American War. Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are Cav Scouts out there that have actually done Cav Scout shit. Congratulations, you're one of 3.
Yeah, back when it took fucking a whole week to do a leader's recon.
Yeah.
The fuck out of here. Come on, man.
Reconnaissance specialists now are fucking drone pilots.
Yeah, dumbass. But yeah, that's so then that dude freaking hops the fence and does his thing. At the same time, the movie Sound of Freedom freaking started yielding some results, and I guess it grossed over $100 million already in the box office, and it's
good on them too.
yeah, it's suspiciously like I figured that if there was one topic that we could all get behind was supporting causes that help,
And child
trafficking,
Child
labor,
exploitation.
child exploitation. I figured that was something that we could all get behind.
Be a nonpartisan.
It should be a nonpartisan issue. It should be it's a non-factor. It should be
Apolitical.
apolitical thing. The movie is not a political thing
In the slightest.
in the least bit. The people whose foot fits the shoe made it political.
It sounds like that's what it's looking like.
It's exactly what it
Yeah.
is. Those people that took exception to it are those ones that are in that cabal that are protecting that. They showed that the movie is not a fiction.
No, it's a real story.
It's not a fiction. It's not a work of fiction. There's actual footage of the raids that took place. There's actual documentation. The man testified in front of Congress. These are actual events, real people. This happened. And these weirdos are standing against it. And they're in the public view. They should be drugged through the streets, beaten. I mean, because if I'm not saying you should be a fan of the movie, like aesthetically, whatever. Like, I mean, if it's something you don't want to watch, then that's something you don't want to watch. But it's the topic.
Here's the thing.
You should be like not opposed to.
Here's what I want to see. You know what's going on in Hollywood right now? The current events in Hollywood right now.
Somewhat. I mean, like I've glossed over it a little bit.
So you have a writer's strike going on right now.
Yeah.
Now, the SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, has joined the Writers Guild in the strike.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively, that shuts down the entertainment organization. That shuts it down. You cannot make new movies, new shows. You can't do a lot of video games. You can't do a lot of shit because those writers and those actors, because they're voice actors, television actors, movie actors, you name it. They encompass the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see people in those groups, in that acting guild and those writers guild, actually come out and say which producers, which studio heads, which money handlers, which recruiters, which agents, which agencies are actually a part of this pedophilia shit. Which are actually a part of I'd love to see them do something like that.
There is strength in numbers.
Yeah.
We all know this. But they won't. Just like YouTube will throttle this video for what we just said, because everybody in YouTube is probably into banging kids.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
So,
There's like, and the thing is, like, we have so few subscribers right now. We love all our subscribers.
Right.
Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Our channel total has it's less than 40 subscribers.
right.
And I think by looking at our previous videos, our previous 12 videos, I was getting because I have a separate YouTube channel that I just consume with. I don't produce with it.
Yeah.
So I just consume stuff on that YouTube
Yeah, so
channel.
do I,
That's my
you know.
premium channel. But that's just me watching videos. I don't put anything on there.
Right.
So I would get notifications for this channel putting out a video with the previous 12 videos. So were some of our subscribers. So some of our subscribers we know in person. We talk to them face to face on like a weekly or almost daily basis. We talk to these folks. They're not getting, they were getting notifications for the previous 12 videos just
Right.
fine. On the last video that we did, the 13th video, which was the one that we were talking about Sound of Freedom, they never got a notification. Neither did I. I didn't get one.
I didn't get one either.
I haven't gotten a single notification for, well, I don't think they do notifications for the shorts, so.
I don't think
that.
they do those
But
either, but I mean, they should
get-
pop up. I mean, generally speaking, they should
And
pop up.
they used to, like.
And I've had them pop up in my feed before.
Me too.
But after we endorsed that movie,
Yeah, no.
no, because the higher ups at YouTube like banging kids. Come at me, bro. You know what I mean? It's all I can say about that. I don't really care whether you shouldn't be offended by this. This is something that we should all be opposed to. It's making sure that our children don't get exploited in that fashion. It's something that we should all be behind.
Yeah,
This should be a national effort from every person of sound mind. But that's the thing. We're not dealing with people with small mind, with sound minds.
Yeah.
We're dealing with maniacs that have freaking crazy for brains. Because I don't care. I know I have friends that are Democrats, like vote blue no matter who types. I have guys and gals that are bananas into this stuff. They will never vote for a Republican, no matter what. But touch one of their freaking kids and see what happens to you. See what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this is something that I know it's achievable, but these people in higher ups, they'll throttle this video just for this conversation alone.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we need you guys to press that like button, subscribe, share the content to grow the channel.
Yeah.
Where it's unreal because we're fighting stuff that's we want to fight stuff that makes sense for everybody. I mean, we're not gonna do anything crazy that the government does what the government does. It always has. The politicians are crooked. Yes, they are. They do this. Yeah, they are. They steal from your taxes. Yeah, they do all kinds of nefarious stuff and whatever. That is what it is. It's not like there's not a whole lot that we can do other than put it out there, and then you can take action in the ballots when it matters. But if it matters, because now we're finding out that they can be rigged and all this other stuff, and there's like all kinds of inconsistencies. But there are issues that we can all stand up and definitely make a difference, and that's that. And we would think that media companies like YouTube, freaking some of the other ones, freaking, I know Rumble's probably behind it 100%, freaking some of these other ones would roger up and go like, hey, yeah, let's end this.
Well, Twitter especially did.
Twitter, yeah.
Elon Musk came out of, because remember when, what was that? It wasn't The Sound of Freedom. It was, what's his name's show? What is a Woman?
Right.
They were trying to post that for free on Twitter, because usually, you had to subscribe to Daily Wire to get access to that movie, but they wanted, because it was such a popular movie, they wanted to put it out on Twitter for free for like a limited time or something like that. And they tried to post it, and the Twitter algorithm shut it down almost immediately, because it was like, this is anti-trans or bigotry or whatever it was. And then Elon Musk himself grabbed it and posted it on his feed. It's like, good luck throttling Elon Musk, he owns the damn thing. But that's what got it fixed, was Elon Musk actually posting it himself.
Yeah, it's
So Twitter seems to be behind stuff like that. or at least isn't trying to stop it actively like YouTube does. YouTube actively tries to stop that stuff. So does Facebook.
Yeah, I mean it's insane how how these people in Hollywood try to say that this movie is like some QAnon freaking thing, especially those people from Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone had put out like not only double down but triple down and quadruple down on their freaking comments about that movie. Like, like I'm like, why are you guys so opposed to this thing? Like, are you guys involved directly in this, and that's why you're freaking losing your cookies? And it's the same thing all over, man.
I believe their title for that was it's a superhero movie for dads with brainworms.
Yeah. To protect your children and to care about the protection of children is to have brainworms. Well, Biden said that these aren't our kids, so I mean, if I were to,
they're all our kids.
They're our kids.
Well, they ain't. Yeah.
A freaking weirdo. He's the pedo in chief. I'm telling you.
Who is the guy that wrote that? Miles Klee.
Miles Klee.
Who's that?
Who is Miles Klee? And why does he not want to protect children?
What the hell? Born in Brooklyn. Studied Williams College. Blah, blah, blah. Culture writer at Rolling Stone. Culture writer.
Whatever that means.
Means whatever the hell they want it to mean this week. He's written a book called True or False. Well titled. Dipshit. There ain't much out there about it. He posted his face on Instagram, that's all I got.
Well, that's funny. You know, a lot of this opinion stuff is coming from...
Oh, he's got a LinkedIn page that I can't access. Oh, there it is. Nope, it's fucked. Well, that was quick. That was a nice little turnaround. Maybe it's just my internet connection. I have no idea.
Well, he's trash, so I'm not going to waste any more time on that.
Lives in L.A.
Of course he does.
No, senior staff writer. No, he's a writer, editor, writer. Williams College. Bachelor's of Arts in English and Philosophy.
Does it say scumbag anywhere in that resume?
Mm-hmm.
It should.
Maybe not his resume.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so that, and that movie actually freaking started moving in the right direction, and pedophile liberals everywhere freaking lost their minds. Well, pedophiles, period. Mostly
Pedophile and pedophile supporters and
mostly
sympathizers.
liberals, but I mean it's pedophiles, period. Lost their freaking collective minds, or minor attracted persons.
I would never use that term to describe those pieces of shit.
They're garbage. Anyways, it should be freaking euthanized or whatever. I don't know.
There's several psychologists who come back and said they studied, I remember what that lady's name was. I'm not about to look it up because it's going to take me forever to find out. But there's a lady, she's a clinical psychologist who worked with criminals and worked extensively with sex offenders. Worked a lot with pedophiles. And even her professional conclusion as a trained psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever the hell she was, somebody who's worked with these people for like 20 years, a full career, there is only one treatment. These people will never change. You can cut their nuts off, you can cut their genitals out, whether they're male or female, because it spans the gender lines. It doesn't matter if they're male or female.
Yeah, it's not exclusive.
Yeah, it's not exclusive to males. It's just most of them that get caught are males. You can cut their genitals out. You can use chemicals to suppress their hormones or suppress their whatever, suppress anything you like. It doesn't matter. It's a problem with the brain, and the only thing that is going to stop it is their death. And that was her professional opinion.
Look.
You can't treat it. You can't stop it.
Look, that is a horrible way to live.
Yeah.
The thing is that almost all of them know that it's wrong. Almost.
I wouldn't even say almost. I'd say all of them know it's wrong. Almost all of them care that it's wrong.
I'm saying almost
do it anyway.
leaving some room for the clinically freaking insane, you know. But they know it's wrong. And to live with that, I mean, it doesn't deserve your mercy, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, that's a shame. To have to go on living with that, with such a terrible thing as an urge,
Yeah.
you know. But
That's the thing, there are people that have said, like, there are pedophiles out there that have never acted on their urges, that they know that they're attracted to children, but they've never actually done anything. They never actually committed a crime. Okay. Then they're not a pedophile. They're fucked in the head, but they're not a pedophile.
right,
Once you start touching kids, then you're a pedophile.
right. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
that's still a person that's under control. You know, they may have it's the definition of it. I mean, you have an urge, and you're like, well, I like this, but I don't ever do it because it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rational
Yeah.
person.
I said before, and it's no secret, I've smoked weed in the past.
Right.
I like it. It was fun. Had me laughing for hours. I haven't done it in years.
Yeah,
Years
it's
and years.
like, well,
It's not
just-
good for me. And
you're past that, or
it's,
whatever. It's just
well,
not.
one, it would interfere with my career greatly. But
Yeah, I mean, it's just things that
that's not something I want to spend money on.
yeah, priorities. I get that. But yeah, then we slow roll into the next big thing, which has been like top of the freaking news. Jason Aldean came out, his country music singer, he came out with this song, Try That in a Small Town. Try That in a Small Town. And the video premiered in country music television, or whatever the hell it is, CMT, which is actually owned by MTV. And it was taken down and all this other stuff. And apparently it has racial connotations. And
Does it?
no. No, not at all. not in the least bit. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, it's a syndrome of the feet that fit the shoe are coming out against it, right? So I got the lyrics pulled up, and he actually advocates against a lot of this stuff, and the video actually shows it. It's so in the opening lyrics, it's like, sucker punch someone in the sidewalk, carjack an old lady in a red light, pull a gun on an owner of a liquor store. Y'all think it's cool? Well, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. What's that got to do with black people?
Yeah.
Is it because you guys are doing it a lot? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
White people steal shit all the time.
Not necessarily talking about black people. If
It's
he's
yeah.
referring to, like,
but
the
that's what I'm getting at. Like black people are fucking losing their shit over this stuff. Like some black people, not all black people. There's some freaking crazy, freaking Looney Tune black people losing their minds over
See,
it.
I was thinking about the summer of
like-
love riots.
Yeah, but that's
Those are
everybody.
that was mostly white people.
That's like everybody. That's got nothing to do with race. It's about acting a fool. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Puerto Ricans are freaking breaking shop. Samoans, fucking everybody. Everybody robs everybody. That's how it is. It's not racially exclusive. Granted, there is a percentage of the population that takes care of a lot of the percentage of the crime, but there's some reasons for a lot of that, and I'm not gonna get into the whole freaking technicalities of law and order, but you talking about any particular race whatsoever. He's just.
Yeah, I'm reading the lyrics now, and I can't find a racial connotation.
Just-
I don't know. It looks
They
like
talk
he's.
about lynching, bro. They said that he incites modern lynching and all this other stuff. No,
I don't see that. It
It's
looks
not-
like he's just making a comparison to like
He's
city
making a
life and
comparison.
country life or small town life.
He's making a comparison. He's making a comparison. Because it's true.
And that line, well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck. You can try that in a small town.
It's a fact.
Yeah, that's true. Anybody will tell you. Anybody
It's a
from a small
fact.
town will tell you.
It's a fact.
The shit that goes down in the city is not gonna play out the same way in a small town.
It's a fact.
It's like you'll see like
I was on patrol. I was on patrol in the last Black Lives Matter thing
Yeah,
that
me
we had
too.
here. You know what we did?
too.
You know what we did with the Black Lives Matter people? We shared soda.
yeah. We were both on. No, we were
No,
both,
both on patrol.
We were on
We're on opposite shifts, but
no,
it's
we weren't. We were on,
was spanned.
We were on SWAT.
No, that's different. That
what was that then?
No, that was a.
Oh, that was the George Floyd
No, you're
thing.
talking about that was the
Yeah,
George Floyd thing.
no.
But during that George Floyd stuff, there was Black Lives Matter here. Like
Mm-hmm.
they did a little demonstration here, and those people were fine. We drank sodas,
Yeah.
and there was like 30 or 40 of them. They
Okay.
they preached the gospel. They had the little church down the street. They praised the gospel. They had a piano out and whatever, had some music, and they had some coolers for free sodas and Dr. Peppers. You know why? Because it's a small town.
Yep. Did I tell you about the BLM? The BLM protest that we went to out in the other county?
Yeah. I remember that one. I was on vacation or on a training course. No, I was on that training course when that happened.
Yeah,
I was,
you're
I was
on
on
the
that
training.
that advanced shield training. That tactical
Was it
shield
that
training. Yeah. I was in San Antonio with tactical shield training.
I don't remember.
I was doing tac shield for
That was a
SWAT.
while ago.
Yeah. Y'all freaking took the tank over there and
Yes.
whatever, and there's
Yeah.
like a bunch of white kids.
Yeah, no, two. It was two.
That's what.
Two teenage white girls just
Yes.
standing there with a sign, and that was it. And it's like whole county was like at the courthouse to
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
counter protest this protest, and their whole protest was two teenagers.
That's what I'm saying.
These
A lot of
kids.
people are bitching about this damn song and never lived in a small town.
Yeah.
And if they have, they should probably move back and freaking remember what it's like, because it's absolutely true. What flies in the big cities don't fly in small towns.
Yeah.
It's just, for one, it's the geography
Yeah.
that doesn't allow it.
Population
The
density.
population density does not allow it to fester like that because we all, for the most part, know each other.
Yeah.
If this podcast blows up even a smudge, I'm gonna be recognized at Walmart, at
Yeah,
H-E-B. It's just that's just the way this
Way the world works.
the way the world works in this town because
And we are in a small town.
we are in a small town. But
I mean,
it's,
comparatively,
I mean, somewhat of a small town.
It's a smaller town than the town I grew up in. It's definitely smaller than where the hell you grew up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, true. Yeah, true. But I'm some big city guy. But
Yeah.
it's neat. But in the city,
I grew up in like the next town over, which
like here's the deal.
double the population of this place, but still a small town on
And
its own.
I'll put it this way. Hypothetical. I go up to somebody in my home city and punch them square in the face. Bow! Take off. I'm never seeing that person ever again, even if they live there.
Right.
Fact. I do that here. I guarantee you it'll be maybe a month.
At the
At
most.
the most.
Yeah, I was thinking like a week.
At the
Yeah.
most. A month. If I don't leave my house, it'll be a month.
Yeah.
I'll run into that person again.
Walmart.
And
Yep.
It'll be payback. You know?
Yeah.
It's murders. We don't have any unsolved murders here for like it don't stay unsolved for very long. You know,
I'd have looked that up, but yeah, probably
you know,
not.
it's just like you do some crazy stuff like that. And, I mean, hell, we've had crimes here without cameras.
Mm-hmm.
That that was so and so. Like,
Yeah, like that. Because
Like,
I know
I
the
mean,
family.
they know-
I said,
they
I don't
know.
know
I
that
was like,
boy, but he looked just like this, and it might
yeah,
be.
it's
it
just.
might be
I mean,
Hispanic.
just
Yeah.
you know it's crazy. Here, the cops here went to school with the criminals. You know, they all graduated in same high school.
Yep.
It's this isn't a strange thing to put on a song, because it's right.
That's yeah. I don't see anything really controversial.
But
about
they've made it a racial thing, somehow, some way.
Critics say the unsung message of the song is racist. In response to the
Right.
song's perceived subtext, country musician Adeem, the artist, wrote a biting parody called Sundown Town. Now that is racist.
Sundown Town.
Yeah. You know what Sundown Town is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Don't be black here after sundown.
I know.
Yeah, that's what a Sundown Town is.
Yeah, Hamilton. Oh, no, not Hamilton.
Hyco.
Hyco.
We used to be.
Or parts of Jonesboro.
Yes. Jonesboro used to be a sundown
Well,
town.
it's but the thing
There
is
actually
that-
used to be sundown laws
well,
during the Jim Crow days. There used to be sundown like city ordinances. Like if you're African American, you cannot be within the city limits past this time.
right.
That used to be like Jim Crow days. That used to be a law.
Well, the thing is that you can infer racist overtones if you're taking some of the body of his work and maybe making it fit your narrative.
I never heard of this guy.
But well, because we don't listen to country music, man.
Yeah, that's true. I don't listen to country
And
music.
that's another thing, you know. They automatically, as soon as country music is like, racist. Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. But they got their own axe to grind, and that's what they. But none of them, absolutely none of them, are bitching about all the craziness that freaking lyrics and rap songs are saying. I mean, it's just a fact. The violence and egregious freaking acts of just depravity that are put out on rap music and some other genres. It's not just rap. I mean, this is all kinds of nasty stuff on all kinds of genres. And nobody's saying crap about that. But the moment this guy says, "Don't ride around here," racist. Why? Why is it racist? Is it because you guys are breaking into shit? Is this what's the deal? Because if you're not, you're not.
Well, man, I mean, Jason Aldean's got to be rolling in it now because I mean, I have never heard of this person. Well, one, I don't listen to country music.
We don't listen to him. That's
But
the
I
thing.
mean-
We're not country music people. It's just kind of like how it is.
But he's got to be making bank off this controversy because now I'm
course.
pretty sure like this video's like the
Of
number one
course.
watch.
Of course, and that freaking Country Music Network or whatever the hell they're called, or TV or whatever, CMT, they freaking censored him basically, and I find it miraculously, but with all the backlash, is still on freaking YouTube. So, and I mean, there's a bunch of different podcasts out there and all kinds of stuff that've been kind of putting the song on and whatever. You research that song on your own. You listen to that. I'm not gonna play it. It don't really matter to me. I just think that it's pretty crazy that people think that it's racist, and it's don't say anything about race because everybody does everything. So, but that was that Jason Aldean stuff, and that idiot running to North Korea,
Mm-hmm.
and freaking what else I got on here? I got sound like a freaking like a bootleg salesman over there in freaking Times Square.
That's fine.
I
Just keep
got-
rolling.
I got watches, I got TV, DVDs, I got freaking.
Let's see.
So, of course, you know, a judge set a new date for Trump's trial after the former president's request for extensive delay. Former President Trump, his federal criminal trial has been delayed into 2024, but is still slotted to take place before voters vote for the next president. So, U.S. District Judge Alan Cannon, on July 21st, the trial won't start till May 20, 2024. So Trump is facing 37 criminal counts, including conspiracy to obstruct justice, illegally keeping control of national defense information. The trial will take place in federal court of Florida, expect to last 2 weeks.
And that's his Florida charges, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff pending from, there's stuff pending from Georgia, there's stuff pending from New York. And
Yeah, they're waiting for the indictment out of Atlanta.
yeah, it's...
Has he been charged with the criminal stuff?
Every time his poll numbers rise, they charge him with something new.
'Cause I know they were doing. Either they've already done. Oh, there might be an article right here. I don't know.
Like,
But,
oh, he's beating Trump, he's beating Biden. Charge him.
Yeah.
Find me a prosecutor.
He was being charged with the January 6th stuff.
Yeah, that was the latest. So they were going to charge him with freaking, I don't know if it was a violation of
Let me
Title
look it up
18.
so we're not spinning out that shit.
But, I mean, long story short, it pretty much adds up to every time he, I bet you if he dropped out of this race, those charges would go away.
I wouldn't doubt that at all. They would definitely put a lot of stuff on the table,
Yeah, they
dropping the charges and stuff like that. They might have already approached him for that. It's like, you drop out of this race, we're not even going to pursue these charges.
Oh no, he would have said that.
Yeah, he'd probably put that out.
He would have opened his mouth by now if he'd have heard that. Well, he looks over that at the Border Patrol chief relieved of command the same day he testified before Congress.
What did he testify about?
About border security.
He was relieved?
He was relieved of command.
Okay.
Yeah, Mayorkas. He pushed him away. He's the head of freaking Department of Homeland Security.
Mayorkas got relieved?
No, Mayorkas relieved the freaking head of I'll read it. I'll read the article. So, House Republican leaders have raised the prospect that Border Patrol chief was a target of retaliation by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) chief after the Border Patrol official sat out transcribed interview with Congress. Gregory K. Bovino, the chief patrol agent for the El Centro Border Patrol sector in California Imperial Valley, offered transcribed interview with the House Oversight Committee and the House Homeland Security Committee July 12, 2023. According to Oversight Committee Chair James Comer, representative out of Kentucky, Homeland Security Committee Chair Mark Green, Republican out of Tennessee, within hours of finishing his testimony, Mr. Bovino was informed that he had been relieved of his command of El Centro sector and reassigned to a vague, indefinite, and temporary headquarters assignment. The timing of Mr. Bovino's reassignment raised suspicion by Mr. Comer and Mr. Green that the CBP had reassigned Border Patrol official in retaliation for his testimony. In a letter to acting CBP Commissioner Troy Miller, the two lawmakers shared allegations from whistleblower that Mike Bovino's new assignment, one of no certain mission and no articulable purpose, and without any timeline completion. The whistleblower further alleges that this practice is consistent with the way CBP officials have dealt with employees who they wish to leave the agency by placing maximum pressure on them to relocate, retire, or resign, the Republican lawmakers added. This is from Epoch Times. Yeah. I mean, you open your mouth.
Another case for retaliation, yeah.
Who said that squeaky wheel gets the oil?
Yeah.
Nail that sticks out gets the hammer.
It's been reworded several times.
You know, baby that don't cry don't get milk.
How many more you got?
Oh, I got a few. You know what they say, wherever you're at, there you are. I mean,
What nail that sticks out gets hammered?
Yeah, you know. What
does that mean?
When the solution to all your problems is a hammer, all the problems are nails.
Nails, yeah.
Yeah. So it's I mean, I can go for a while on that.
He's facing charges. This is the Trump thing.
I know you want me to make like a tree and the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But I
What
mean,
movie was that? Was that Back to the Future?
no. That was that stupid freaking movie with the Irish dudes.
Oh yeah. Boondocks.
Boondock
Saints.
Boondock Morons or whatever.
Yeah, Boondock Saints.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. So but that's okay, because that's typical for the federal government. I mean, Matt Taibbi, who was the guy that was writing those articles from the collaboration from the federal government with Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had the IRS show up in his house. The day he testified, like after he testified or something, like the next day or something, freaking IRS showed up with, talking about some daggone inconsistencies and blah blah blah, like shit that they never do. in person. So yeah, I mean, the federal government's going to intimidate you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's a weaponized justice system, federal system.
Is that why they got the 87,000 new agents?
Well, I mean, I don't think that those new agents were the ones that showed up. Any of those?
No, probably not.
No, because I mean.
But that's the thing that people like kind of forget on the timelines, and that's why I'm trying to like compile a fucking research thing. So several years ago, the IRS made a huge purchase of ammunition.
Yeah, bought all the 5.56.
Mm-hmm. And then about a year and a half, 2 years after that purchase, they got allocated funds to hire 87,000 new agents.
Yeah.
Why is the IRS building an army?
To kill us.
Well, I mean, a whole bunch of weird things, weird stuff.
I mean,
just coincidence.
I mean, what are armies for?
Ours or
what are armies? Period. What are armies? Period. What is the purpose of armies?
Social construction and experimentation.
That's a side quest.
That's what our army does.
Well,
social experimentation.
And why? Who's in charge of that social experimentation?
How tactical pink hair can be on the front line.
That brings us to our next fucking dumbass.
Oh shit, which one?
General fucking White Rage.
Oh, that was later. That's gonna be later. I had something else to go through.
Oh. You were ramping up towards it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were ramping up towards it.
No, I wasn't trying to segue, no.
I thought you were segueing into it. So I'm fucking leading you in. I was like, oh shit,
Fuck it, we can do it now.
Let me help you hitch this trailer on
I can talk about the other shit after. That's
do whatever the fuck you want.
You jumped the gun. Yeah. But
you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean.
Fucking, yeah. General fucking White Rage.
Yeah, but now that's what militaries are for, man. They're to kill.
Yeah. To suppress the enemy.
They suppress the enemy. They're to fucking close with, destroy the enemy. The problem is that the enemy could be fucking anyone.
Enemies, whoever.
Anyone is whoever the army's told is the bad guy. So yeah, so yeah. When you talk about 87,000 IRS agents and then a freaking enormous shortage of 5.56, well, I'm like, okay, well maybe they're a 223 or whatever.
Whatever.
It's like,
rifle rounds, common use rifle rounds.
Yeah. I mean, it's par for the course. Yeah, they're gonna try to weaponize the IRS, and they're weaponizing a lot of these agencies and following freaking people around and doing crazy shit. Mm-hmm. It's your phone's listening to you 24/7. Your laptop's listening to you 24/7. Your camera's listening to you 24/7.
TV.
You got a smartwatch. It's telling the government your freaking pulse, your freaking how many steps you take, where you walk, how you walk, how you sleep, how you breathe. Freaking, the government knows whether you got sleep apnea, whether you got freaking, if you're a veteran, forget about it. Don't even try to do anything crazy. They got everything. They got your DNA, they got everything. So it's just...
See, I joined the Army around 2003, 2004. One of the first things they did when I got to Fort Knox, Reception Battalion, is go through the medical line, right? You get all your inoculations and shit and everything else. One of the things they did was they took blood and they filled these 3 circles on the little card with enough blood, to track the DNA.
Yeah.
They tell you that. They make no secret about it. It's like, it's a DNA track.
Yeah, so I mean, it's and the thing is that in big scheme of things, not talking like conspiracy theorist, you can't disprove. It's your word against whatever evidence they compile against you. If it comes down to it, they got your DNA, they got all this freaking stuff that they can link to you, and I mean, they got your previous posts from Facebook, from God knows what, from how far back, and they can bring up your profile and throw keywords, and it'll scan your entire freaking profile history and check and see whatever. They know everything about you. It's which is what Edward Snowden was trying to warn everybody.
Yeah, NSA metadata
the
mining.
NSA metadata mining.
Yep.
And same thing that they're debating right now. Not debating. They're talking about it because ain't nothing gonna happen. FISA court is coming up on expiration, and they're talking about expanding it again or extending it again. And a lot of people in Congress are saying no, we don't want to extend it because of all the lies that were told to the FISA courts in order to secure surveillance on Donald Trump prior to the 2016 campaign. That shit happened. It happened. Now, whether They lied to the FISA courts, and they got warrants to do illegal surveillance on a private citizen. It happened. So not only that, but there's like hundreds of thousands of queries that are being done by federal agents that have no probable cause attached to them. On private citizens, people are checking on their girlfriends. Federal agents are checking on their ex-lovers, freaking neighbors, and everybody that it's a free for all of data, and they're getting in the system and actually mining this stuff, and it's out for grabs for whoever wants to weaponize it. It's a problem. It's a problem. But the thing is that the algorithm and the software and everything that goes with it, it's already made. That exists already. To let that capability sunset only moves it further into the darkness. Because it's not going to go away. They're not going to just go, control, delete. Let me just go ahead and delete this software that could have potential, potential for exploit, like unlike anything. I mean, come on, curiosity.
Come up later.
Yeah, of course you're gonna want to use it later. So why would you delete it? They're not gonna delete it. They're not gonna erase it. So to let it sunset is just gonna drive it further into your obscurity, where you won't be able to do a committee to see who's exploiting it or who's not, because it don't exist no more, right? So how is the Senate Arms Committee gonna try to do a hearing about software that don't exist now? Right. Allegedly, because they let it sunset. But there's not enough people up there in that hill that are pragmatic enough to think in that fashion, so they'll let it sunset. Of course, it's in their best interest, because now who regulates it? Nobody. They got nobody looking over their shoulder. Now they can use it wherever the hell they want. They'll move it to some black site somewhere where only a select handful of people will have fucking access to it. In Congress and the Senate, nobody will ever see it. Nobody will ever be able to track it. Nobody will be able to follow up on it. Nobody will be able to inquiry about it. You can't even do a FOIA on it. Right. Because it don't exist. Right. So to those senators, if they ever get to see our podcast, don't be stupid. Renew the damn FISA so you can at least monitor it, like you were able to unearth all these discrepancies that because it exists. You let it sunset, you ain't gonna have visibility no more. So, but I digress. Yeah. That's about the latest and the greatest with tech and stuff like that, I guess.
Well, I had this thing I've been looking at, and it's the economy. It's a big thing.
Do it.
So, what I was looking at was a lot of Twitter messages from Biden, because I follow the White House and I follow Biden's Twitter page, just to see the bullshit that gets spewed from those two sources, which is usually it's pretty blatant lies, but you're not going to know they're lies unless you look at what they're actually saying. Mm-hmm. If you take what they say on face value, everything is great. Everything. Mm-hmm. It's the best presidency that's ever happened, and fucking they're doing everything that they wanted to do and they promised to do, and nothing's going wrong at all anywhere. Yeah, that's right. If you believe everything they say on face value, they're full of shit most of the time. Here's the thing.
Not a supreme leader.
Oh. Yeah, Democratic People's Republic of whatever the fuck this is now.
Describe it in 3 words.
Every time he gets in front of a fucking mic, it's amazing.
Himalayan mountains with Chi-Ching Pang.
Right.
What?
So, I was having this conversation a while ago with somebody else about inflation rates. It gets to a point where there's too much inflation, and the currency is devalued to such a point where you're going to have to like recall the currency and reissue new currency. It's happened a couple times in history. The Great Depression had happened, where they had to like change the currency out because the currency was devalued so much. They had to use other things for currency. But it's also around the time where FDR made it illegal to possess gold in any kind of quantity. If you look it up, that's a rabbit hole you might not want to go down. But I mean, that did happen in history. The U.S. president
leads into the last time that inventory was done at Fort Knox.
Yeah.
Which was like in the 70s. Nothing's ever
If
been done
that,
since.
Yeah.
Nobody's laid eyes on the
Gold itself.
since.
Yes. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, look up gold illegal in the U.S. That's all you got to do to start it.
Nothing but Bitcoin over there in freaking Fort Knox.
If that. So, once inflation gets above extreme inflation is like 50% a month. So the way inflation rates are done is month by month. So when somebody's talking about the inflation rate, they're talking about that or the previous month's inflation rate. So if they say inflation is like 2.9%, which is what they said most recently on Twitter. So 2.9%. Yeah, that's the current inflation rate for the month of July 2023. Last month's was like fucking 4%. The month before that was like 5%. The month before that was 4%. The month before, it keeps going and going. When you get an average, you have to get all 12 months to get an average out of that year. So the average inflation for 2021, for example, was like 10%. The average inflation for 2022 was like 9%. The average inflation for this year so far is like 7%. So I can say that the inflation rate's going down. And what I'm getting at is they're full of shit because Biden keeps saying it's like, oh, inflation's down, it's gone down a lot since I took office, blah, blah, blah. Inflation rate's gone up 13% since he took office. 13%. Total inflation. If you look at all the time between January 2021 is when he swore into office, and now our currency is 13% less valuable than it was when he took office.
Yeah, it's
lost 13% of its total value.
It's a shell game.
Yes.
It's a shell game. It's smoke and mirrors that they're playing, because you can't avoid the information being in your face.
12.6% rounding.
So they got to play to the lesser number. It's why in Puerto Rico you buy gas by the quart, not by the gallon.
Really, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, because the price of the quart is significantly less than the price of the gallon.
Yeah.
So instead of say it's 50 cents a quart, now you're looking at how many dollars per gallon?
$2.
Yeah, $2. So people are not going to follow that. They see 50 cents.
Right.
So it's same thing.
I didn't know that.
$9.99. Sale for $9.99.
So they're still using the imperial system. It's just they're breaking it down.
Yeah, they're breaking it down for advertisement purposes. It's so it'll sell.
Not a terrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea. It's exactly what the thing is. So there's two places. There's actually three, but there's two places where extreme policies are primed, tested, and monitored for their either success or failure. So California being a big place where a lot of liberal policies, social, economic policies, and stuff like that are ran into the ground and proven or disproven as what they want to do. Another one where they try some of the craziest and harshest freaking stuff is Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's been the testing ground for communist and socialist propaganda, socialist and communist policies in all of the United States. It's out of the way. Nobody really thinks about it too much, except for maybe once a year where freaking one of these obscure Puerto Rican artists does something crazy or that comes out with a collaboration with Snoop Dogg or something. And they're like, oh, it's all about Puerto Rico for a hot 2-3 months. It happens once every couple of years. And that's it. We go back to the status quo. So Puerto Rico they still have COVID mandates down there. You gotta subscribe to a freaking social app and have vaccination information. The government calls you and checks on you to see when you're leaving. You gotta put in the times that you're coming into the island and when you're leaving. I went through that. And if they deem that you need a COVID check, a test for COVID check before you fly, they'll call you. They'll fine you if you don't do it. Yeah, it's freaking bonkers. They called my phone personally. The government called me, asking me for to go to report to some place to get a COVID test and submit the positive results to the app so I can.
And if you refuse, you get fined.
Yeah, I mean, so where they lack is in the enforcement side of things. That's where they kind of fall apart because I I don't know, maybe Puerto Ricans are lazy. I don't fucking know, but I don't know what it is. But the enforcement side just kind of falls apart a little bit. But in the implementation of oppressive technologies and things like that, you know, they some of the harshest ones get tried over there. Same thing with the governmental structure. That's why that place is freaking upside down, $77 billion in debt, and it provides zero to the union other than a testing ground for socialist and communist propaganda and policies. They've been doing that for freaking years. I mean, hell, part of our islands were used for freaking military grade testing for weapons. For Monsanto freaking tested their Agent Orange over there. They got, I mean, it's been the lab test hamster of the United States for a really, really long time. Now, of course, they're not the only ones. It happens in a lot of places, and we've nuked America more than we've nuked anywhere else. But yeah. So, so I get that, but you gotta, you know, it's a shell game. So I try to pay attention to Puerto Rican politics as much as possible, because what's happening over there, it's gonna get transported to either California or New York being the third one. But the problem with some of these, but specifically New York, is it's the center of media. So you step out of line, New York, a lot of the times the world will find out. It's so they, but that shell game they play with the numbers, and that kind of smoke and mirrors that they play with the propaganda, with all that stuff. It's yeah, we've been seeing that in Puerto Rico being done for ages, you know. So you look at the number that the inflation went up that month, not the totality, and they keep it that way. And then they tell you, Bidenomics or whatever the fuck.
He's actually using that term now.
He is. He's made like particle boards out of it and stuff like that, and stood in front and took pictures like he's in a runway show. Yeah.
He's proud of his Bidenomics, which
he doesn't have a choice.
Has nothing to do with him. He didn't make that up.
He doesn't have a choice. He's got
maybe next time I'll talk about Keynesian economics. There are different schools of economics.
Yeah, because he's got
so one of the most popular ones is trickle-down economics. That's what Trump uses.
Right.
And that's the one that's been proven to be effective. So what you do is you cut taxes on the super rich, because the super rich are the ones that own the businesses. So when the super rich own businesses, they're business-minded, and they invest a lot into their own businesses. When you cut their taxes, they take that as surplus money because they have nothing else to do with it. And they invest it into their own companies, either in the form of acquiring new stuff to make whatever the hell they're making, or investing in their people, or whatever. They invest it into their business. And a lot of times it goes to increased pay for the workers, because they can't increase pay with the taxes wherever they are.
Well,
the trickle-down economics works that way. You cut the taxes on the super rich, and then it trickles down to the rest of their workers and society. You lower prices on goods because they don't have to charge so much anymore. You increase wages for workers because you can. You also increase benefits and pensions. And
it increases productivity and bottom line. You know, so your net growth. You know, you grow exponentially. You know, it's just you make more money in the long run. A happy worker, you know, works. So it's sad to see that there are people that I know that will literally base their judgment on how well a particular government is doing by how much they get back in taxes. You know, like, what? Well, I got more back when Biden was in charge than when Trump was in office. Yeah, so they taxed you less. You got taxed less. That's why you got less.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing a lot of people don't understand about
my
taxes.
tax returns when Obama was president were like, I mean, but he was taking fucking 40%, you know. He's taking 40%, so yeah, my tax return is like freaking $8,000 or some crazy shit like that. So yeah, you can almost buy 2 used cars for that. You know, but he took 40%. You know, so it's
And that's the thing, a lot of people make
You
the argument
can't-
about the IRS and the taxes and this thing. And if you want to go into another rabbit hole, you can look up the way the IRS started and how long Americans have actually been paying income tax, which isn't that long.
And do you have to?
About 100. No, you don't want to play that game. You don't want to play that game. And that's the thing. Like, that is an argument. It is a valid argument.
Are you legally-
are you legally obliged
to pay taxes?
to pay an income tax to the federal government? According to the IRS, you are, and the IRS is the enforcement branch. So yeah, you need to pay that fucking tax. Otherwise, they'll throw you in prison legally. So I mean, but is it codified that you have to pay an income tax? From what I understand, no. It's just in the IRS tax code. So, but I mean, that tax code has the same weight as law. The thing is, you will never be arrested by any local cop for not paying your taxes. It will never happen. It can't. But you can be arrested by an IRS agent for not paying your taxes. So, yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically the difference between like trickle-down economics and Keynesian economics. Keynesian economics is what Obama used. It's also what Biden is using. So trickle-down economics is like traditional economics. You cut the taxes on people. You especially cut the taxes on the wealthier people, so the money can trickle down from the top, which is, well, the money goes up, so it trickles down. Look at it, it's kind of like a common sense kind of thing. But Keynesian economics, that's more. So classical economics, trickle-down economics, and laissez-faire economics are all pretty much the same thing. Laissez-faire just means hands-off. So the government has hands-off economics. People in business take care of the economy, and the Keynesian economics has the other idea to where government spending is necessary to maintain the economy in the way it is. So Keynesian economics advocates that like the government needs to be investing money into businesses and putting money here and putting money here, instead of the business people that have been in business for like their entire fucking lives making those decisions. The Keynesian economics wants the government to make those decisions. So in my personal opinion, I think Keynesian economics is fucking stupid.
Well, why
Because
is it?
why the hell would I trust a fucking politician with billions of dollars when I can trust a billionaire with those billions of dollars who actually knows what the fuck to do with it?
So why is it then that the Keynesian economic model is, for as long as I've been alive, has been consistently either implemented in a way, shape, or form by Democrat lawmakers? Like, why is that their way to go? Like, I mean, it seems to me like
So that's what
it's a control thing.
It is a control thing. That's what kind of confuses me about politics and economics and the way they interact, which is what I studied in college, but I still don't really fully understand it. It's not an easy thing to grasp. It's not an easy thing for me to grasp. Somebody could explain it to me better. It would be great. But the way I see it, I think if you just look at the government as a binary body of Democrat, Republican, or liberal, conservative, however you want to look at it. I think my opinion is that the Democrats, just to use that one word, the Democrats are advocating for government control. That's their purpose. That's their nature. That's what they do. The Republicans advocate for individual control. And that's the whole ways and fights of the government. That's just the way I see it, in the most basic way I can say it.
So, the Democratic model seeks control by manipulating the emotion of its citizenry.
I think it uses a lot of tools to gain support.
I believe that it caters more towards the intellectual irresponsibility of its citizenry to kind of grasp at those heartstrings by attacking the rich, by basically pushing these socialist models and Marxist agendas that are only obvious to those that are really paying attention, but to them it's kind of like economy, let's share our wealth and all this other stuff, and inequality and all this other stuff. And
well, that's the thing. Even historically, the Democratic Party has always been about government making decisions for the people rather than people making decisions for the government. I mean, the Democrats were the ones who staunchly opposed integration of schools.
Yeah.
staunchly opposed that. They were absolutely against it. The Democrats were the ones who didn't want any other race. They were the ones that promoted Jim Crow laws. They were the ones who implemented Jim Crow laws, who got them passed. They were the ones who founded the KKK.
Structured it. And implemented the rank structure of the KKK. Gave it its name.
Yeah.
As the armed
arm. The militant arm of the Democratic Party.
Arm of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
These are people that have always been racist. Inherently.
Yeah.
It's practically in their charter.
And the thing is, like, you'd have to, nowadays they're more sophisticated. You have to read in between the lines to see their blatant racism. But it is blatant racism.
Yeah. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Yeah, that's just out of this world blatant. Like, I don't understand how that wasn't, like, in everybody's face everywhere.
It was everywhere.
Well, that's the, it didn't make any kind of traction, though.
It was everywhere.
But, I mean,
nobody really, like...
It's just so blatant. Yeah. And then you get the historical recordings of this guy. Because, I mean, shit, cameras have been in Congress since, what, the 1970s, 1960s?
And
he's been in office since the 70s?
This was before Watergate.
So, I mean, everything he said...
50 years.
Everything he said in Congress has been recorded.
Yes.
Everything.
And everything he plagiarized.
And he's one of the more blatant racists to sit in a Senate seat.
This is
say that 5 times fast.
Yeah. I mean, he's ran. This is the third time he's ran for freaking office.
Is it third or fourth?
It's like the third or fourth
Something like that,
because he had to drop out the last couple of times was before we were born for plagiarism. It's the guy's a blatant liar.
I'm surprised because the thing, he's never been charged for plagiarism. Is a crime. It's in the criminal code.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been charged.
He's never been charged.
Of course not.
And his degrees have never been removed because the university that issues your degree has every right to rescind it if they find later that you've cheated to obtain it. So the degree that I have in that closet somewhere, if UMHB ever finds evidence that I cheated to obtain that degree, they can remove it.
Right. It's well, I mean,
because they have every right to do it. It's their degree. They issued it.
True. I mean, it's crazy, man. I don't understand because they could catch more flies with honey, man.
Yeah. That it doesn't matter. Elected office doesn't require a degree.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like they can definitely control the people a lot better if they just kind of chill the fuck out. You know, it's just. I mean, it's
what I mean about like reading between the lines to see their blatant racism is it's been a constant thing, and I've looked at it for years, and like it's never really been a big thing in the news or any other talking point that I've seen. But like when Democrats advocate, it's like, well, we need to help these people. We need to like. It sounds good on the surface, right? We need to help these people because they're poor, they're downtrodden, blah blah blah. They're saying we need to help them because they're too stupid to figure it out for themselves. And who they're talking about are black people, brown people. You hear Biden say it blatantly because he's senile.
They don't know how to get ID cards. Remember?
Yeah, he don't know how to get ID cards. They don't know how to use the internet. They don't know how to.
The blacks don't know how to use the internet. Yeah. That's what he said.
And I've seen YouTube videos of people going into like Harlem and asking them, like, "You know how to get an ID card?" I was like, "Yeah, of course."
They had that guy was like, "Hey, do you have a driver's license?" Yeah. Where do I get mine renewed? Oh man, right 2 blocks down, blah blah.
And they're on H Street, whatever.
I was like, hey, would you believe if this guy said that you can't get ID? Go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have internet at the house? Yeah. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
But yeah, that's what they blatantly advocate. They're like, these people cannot survive on their own. We have to help. No. But that's the blatant racism that people aren't pulling into the spotlight. Like you're absolutely a racist.
Yeah,
you're absolutely a racist that's pretending to be a helpful person. You're not.
You're not. You're masquerading as the master.
Yeah.
And we are all your freaking your labor.
Yeah.
You know, your slaves. You know, it's crazy. I mean, hell, he said it out loud. I mean, he don't work for us. He flat out said that. So it's just.
Did you see the Pence thing?
Yes, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson. Yeah,
Tucker Carlson ended political careers in one freaking set.
That I saw the Pence one. I saw the other ones too, but I saw the Pence one. It's just like, oh, Pence needs to just sit this one out. If he ever wants to try to run again, he's screwed. Because after that, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, so that dude from Johnny Quest freaking went over there and
What was that guy's name?
Dr. Quest.
No, it wasn't Dr. Quest. It was the bodyguard.
Well, Haji?
No, man.
What? Come on, we made fun of him before.
Yeah, Haji, but not Johnny Quest's bodyguard. I forgot what his name is. Race Bannon.
Race Bannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Race Bannon sat with freaking Tucker Carlson and just got destroyed in like a matter of minutes. He was talking about,
Race Bannon.
yeah. You know what I'm gonna do with it? No, put him on screen. So, yeah. So he was bitching about
Race Bannon's so much cooler though.
yeah. Well, I mean, did he adopt Haji?
I have no idea, dude. I haven't seen that show in ages.
Ah, man, dude. But he was talking about all the aid to Ukraine and what was missing and what hasn't been delivered and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, things in the United States are like way bad. Like,
Yeah.
why are we? Oh, that's not my concern.
Yeah. So the United States isn't your concern, and that's the thing. Like you might be able to like argue for him the way pundits do. It's like that's not what he meant to say. He meant to say
Well,
that
he said it.
Ukraine's not his concern. And that's the thing, bullshit, because he had every opportunity to notice what the fuck was being said. If he can't keep up with the conversation, he shouldn't be on stage. He shouldn't be running. Otherwise, you're just going to get the Republican version of Joe Biden.
I'm tired of the context crowd. All right, so we took a little break, so our batteries are starting to.
Yeah.
But
Just looked up and noticed there were like 1 bar, so we need to change those before they go out without notice.
yeah, we're on a shoestring budget over here. So like, subscribe, please.
We're not gonna get any money out of the channel.
Please. So, yeah, but I mean, it's, channels grow, they get sponsorships and stuff like that, that can help with some of the gear. But yeah, we're talking about Mike Pence getting, basically committing career suicide in public again, because, I mean,
He was a pretty feckless vice president. I can't think of one thing that he actually accomplished as VP. So, and I never even heard of him before he became VP. So I have no idea what he did in Congress either.
this is a spy, this is a Marine Corps sniper.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's why he wears long sleeves.
Oh, the same argument about fucking what was it? Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Rogers was a Marine sniper, Vietnam sniper.
A scout
was like
sniper in Vietnam.
He wasn't. He was a war protester.
Yeah, he was just some guy.
Yeah, he was a pastor his whole fucking life. Like there's video of him in Congress testifying against the war in Vietnam in like 1967. He was never.
Yeah, after killing all those people.
Shit. No.
Well, here's the freaking video of Mike Pence basically, committing career suicide.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President. Have you? I know you're running for president. You are
Thank you.
distressed. You are
Thanks for
distressed that the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse over the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States. And it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. Public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased. And yet, your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. I think it's a fair question to ask, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern. Tucker, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern. I'm running for president of the United States because I think this country's in a lot of trouble. I think Joe Biden has weakened America at home and abroad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like he just gave you, that's about as softball
Right.
as it gets
With Tucker Carlson.
with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
I mean, Tucker Carlson was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And he said the quiet part out loud. That's not my concern. So what country are you running president? You running for president of where?
Yeah.
What do you mean it's not your concern? Mike Pence, did you know that if you don't have a country, you are also not a president? Did you not know that? Somebody tell him that.
And that's the thing. I can see the if he gets the same treatment as like Biden does. Oh, that's not what he meant to say.
No, it's the
He meant to
context
say
crowd.
Ukraine isn't his.
So I'm sick and tired of this.
Not what he said.
That's what I was getting into. Like, I'm sick and tired of the context crowd
Yeah.
popping up and saying, "Oh, well, it's in the context." No. That's what he said. That's what he said. If you were to write a police report based on that interaction, you would write, Mike Pence stated, "That's not my concern," in quotations. And it'd be a matter of record for the court. So, it's called res gesti. You said it. It's not, there's no context because Tucker Carlson gave you the context in order for you to open your mouth. The fact that you don't listen, you're not paying attention, is a different matter.
Right.
And, oh, that's not my concern. Why are you, and then he repeats, he pivots, and he goes, oh, Joe Biden is weakening our country, or this country's in trouble. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what Tucker Carlson said.
Yeah.
You just repeated what he said. Yeah, he already told you the country's in trouble. So what are you going to do about it? And you said it's not my concern. So how is it not your concern and your concern all at the same time? It's your concern now because you heard the crowd going, whoa, yeah. It's come on, you throw that dude in the trash can. That guy's useless.
His resume is pretty useless too. I just looked him up on. I use Wikipedia because they're reliable enough for
They had to get some
what I'm looking at.
cursory information.
So he's a lawyer, obviously. Graduated law school, whenever, it doesn't matter. And he was a Democrat from 1977 until 1983, and then he went to the Republican Party in 1983, and he has been ever since. He was in the U.S. House of Representatives, representing Indiana, from 2001 to 2013, and then he was governor of Indiana from 2013 to 2017, and then vice president from 2017 until 2021. So, his entire political career is 20 years long. Started in the House of Representatives.
So Tucker Carlson did this.
And he was too young for Vietnam.
Yeah. Well, Tucker Carlson did this thing. He sat down at the Iowa summit. He sat with Tim Scott, who he destroyed as well.
I didn't see that one, but I believe it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. He took down. He took down a couple people, but all in all, my thing with Tucker Carlson is that he makes good clips and good videos, and what he says makes absolute sense. But he also just did an interview with Andrew Tate.
Tucker?
About 2 hours long. Just recently. He went to Romania to talk to Andrew Tate. Why are people wasting their time with this guy? It's beyond me. He's being accused of the very same things that he's admitted to the world of doing. Andrew Tate is awaiting trial for human trafficking. In Romania, they classified his level of human trafficking as seducing and coercing women into some kind of sexual practice. And because they've been coerced and seduced, they did not give consent. It's a form of manipulation, and they claim to use violence as the threat of violence was ever present when it came to that. Andrew Tate has said in his own words that he makes girls fall in love, and after he has sex with them, they can't get enough of him. They'll do anything he wants, and then he'll manipulate them. And he's been very explicit about how he's manipulated women into the OnlyFans and TikTok freaking camera business, where he's made money out of it. And he also explains on his own videos how he's exploited these women and how much money they take, and he paid them a flat fee and took the rest. The guy, he said it. I didn't make it up. The Romanians didn't make it up. He said it, that he did. They found witnesses, and they got witnesses that attested to the same. And there are videos of that too, of women coming forward. He's saying no women's come forward. Whatever. He's going to have to deal with the courts. A lot of people giving this dude time of day. I don't fucking know. The guy's a scumbag. He's useless.
Okay.
Freaking Peterbed David gave him freaking time of day. I don't know why. The guy's a scumbag. Other than he sells. He sells.
Yeah,
So
he's really popular online.
He's
He has
really
a
popular.
Huge following.
has a huge following.
I mean-
We're talking about him right now. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's
So, I mean,
and that's that with that guy. That guy's a scumbag, and he's a predator. So, but masquerading as a right wing ish, and now
well, he's been labeled right
Yeah,
wing.
and now-
what the
now-
Republicans actually are.
I don't know why the right wing has anything to do with that. It's the guy's a sexual predator, and
There's like a thing came out recently. Apparently, being in shape and working out is a right wing thing.
yeah,
It's like there was an article saying like fitness is a right wing. Let me pull the actual thing.
yeah,
That won't take much to Google.
yeah, fucking.
Apparently, it was an MSNBC post. Yeah, the far right's obsession with fitness from MSNBC.
Yeah, they want you high, out of shape, and
It's stupid.
stupid. That's what they want you, because that's how you won't fight back. They don't want you fighting back. They want you high, stupid, freaking distracted, depressed. They want you. That's where they want you. So you can depend on the government. But
That's the goal.
Whatever.
That's the goal. To have a population completely and totally dependent on the government to provide everything, safety, food, healthcare, shelter, provide for all your needs. Yeah, that's the ideal situation for a government.
But that covers. It just about covers all of our societal stuff and current news and everything that we had going on. Like we went way over on some of this shit, but we had to cut through it. There's a lot to cut through, but brings us into our deck of cards slash.
Yeah, let's cut right into it. Mark Tilley. What's his title? Chairman of the Joint
Milley.
Chiefs.
Millie.
Is it Milley?
Yeah.
I thought it was Tilley.
No.
It is Milley. Yeah. General Milley. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, 4-star general. I'm not even going to try to read his awards. I don't even know what that jump wing is on his chest. It's a big one.
I forgot.
It looks North Korea.
That's probably Belgian or something.
I
I don't know.
have no idea. I'm never airborne. Haven't done anything in planes. On a C-130 twice. So
It's not your fault.
and a C-5. And every helicopter. That was fun. Anyway, yeah. So Tilley is the general of the Joint Chiefs. His responsibility is pretty much to be the what are you laughing at?
French.
They're French? Why isn't he wearing American airborne wings?
He is.
Where?
The foreign jump wings are on the
Oh, they
opposite
are.
side of the
Okay,
chest.
yeah. I see him.
Yeah.
I see him.
French.
I don't know.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, good. I didn't know they were French. I recognized the unit crest he has above him.
Mm-hmm.
That's 506.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had that unit crest too.
Ooh.
When they were with 2nd Infantry Division. Before they cased colors and then restood the unit up in the 101st. Anyway, it's a historical unit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a unit that I went to Iraq with the 2nd ID. Anyway, well, that and the 72nd Armor Regiment. Anyhow, this cat is a punk as far as I can tell. Politically speaking, anyway. I have no idea what he's like as a general. I've never served under this guy. I'm pretty sure I was never in the same unit as him, and we're completely different spectrums of the military experience. He's a flag officer. I was an enlisted guy. So, but this cat was the one that was talking about white rage.
Mm-hmm.
You got the video?
General Milley
Yeah.
talking about white rage?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, dude, I got it.
I got it right here, but I mean, I don't like using
Yeah.
the sound on my laptop.
Let's see.
So there were two things that got this guy on the list. I don't know where to classify him in the deck. I'd say he'd be a jack somewhere. A jack or a 10.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
It's fairly high up there. General of the Joint.
On the issue of critical race theory, et cetera, I'll obviously have to get much smarter on whatever the theory is. But I do think it's important, actually, for those of us in uniform to be open-minded and be widely read. It is important that we train and we understand, and I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America? What caused that? I want to find that out. I want to maintain an open mind.
I want to find out what your evidence to that statement is, that their objective was to overturn the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah.
Because that is a bold statement to make with zero evidence.
From the people who actually did that action, from what I've seen, what I've heard them say, it wasn't to overturn anything. It was to adhere to the Constitution of the United States.
But because to redress your grievances,
Mhm.
now granted, they interrupted official proceeding, and
If that's the bulk of their
if that's
fucking
the bulk
crime,
of it, interrupted official proceeding and
that's what I see.
criminal trespassing, I suppose, because of the obstruction of official proceeding. But I mean, they were welcomed in.
Yeah.
General Milley says that because that's what he's been told to say, or that's what his op order says. Because what are you basing this off of? I mean, look, I have the utmost respect for anybody that's put in over 44 years of military service. He's got 2 combat infantryman badges. The guy's been around the world and back again. He's been through some very tough schools. He's in being a commanding general of any unit is that's no punk. You know what I mean? That when it comes to the level of organization that you gotta have to do that effectively. I don't know if he was ineffective in any of his commands, but I mean, to come out and talk to talk in favor of critical race theory, insane,
Mm-hmm.
insane.
Because the implications of what he's saying is that white rage is what caused the January 6th incident. And for not only a general officer, but the Secretary of the Joint Chiefs to be saying things that have like widespread implications of blatant racism on the part of people who come to Congress to redress their grievances. Now, the way they went about it, arguably wrong. But for a general officer to say something like that about these folks without enough information, yeah. He's saying what he was told to say. He's towing the party line for a president and a cabinet that really is lacking on leadership, and he's reflecting that. Yeah, he's got a bunch of schools.
Oh yeah. Let's see what he said on this one.
My loyalty to this nation, its people, and the Constitution hasn't changed and will never change as long as I have a breath to give. My loyalty is absolute, and I will not turn my back on the fallen. With respect to the Chinese calls, I routinely communicated with my counterpart, General Lee, with the knowledge and coordination of civilian oversight. I am specifically directed to communicate with the Chinese by Department of Defense guidance, the policy dialogue system. These military-to-military communications at the highest level are critical to the security of the United States in order to deconflict military actions, manage crisis, and prevent war between great powers that are armed with the world's most deadliest weapons. The calls on 30 October and 8 January were coordinated before and after with Secretary Esper and Acting Secretary Miller's staffs and the interagency. The specific purpose of the October and January calls were generated by concerning intelligence, which caused us to believe the Chinese were worried about an attack on them by the United States. I am certain that President Trump did not intend to attack the Chinese, and it is my directed responsibility, and it was my directed responsibility by the Secretary to convey that intent to the Chinese. My task at that time was to de-escalate. My message again was consistent: stay calm, steady, and de-escalate. We are not going to attack you. At Secretary of Defense Esper's direction, I made a call to General Lee on 30 October. 8 people sat in that call with me, and I read out the call within 30 minutes of the call ending. On 31 December, the Chinese requested another call with me. The Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Asia-Pacific Policy helped coordinate my call, which was then scheduled for 8 January, and he made a preliminary call on 6 January. 11 people attended that call with me, and readouts of this call were distributed to the interagency that same day. Shortly after my call ended with General Lee, I personally informed both Secretary of State Pompeo and White House Chief of Staff Meadows about the call, among other topics. Soon after that, I attended a meeting with Acting Secretary Miller where I briefed him.
So that's him explaining the accusation.
But not one time did he say what he said, that he was accused. What he said to the Chinese, his Chinese counterpart, was, if we're going to attack, I'm going to tell you beforehand, which is paramount to treason. You're going to tell the enemy of the United States that we're about to attack? Why would you tip your hand? You're a general officer in the United States Army, but you're going to tip your hand to the Chinese? That's what's paramount to treason. And so providing aid and cover to the enemy is one of those, what do we call them? It's regular cops. Elements of the offense.
Elements of the offense, yeah.
So that would be an element to the offense of treason. It's just one of those things that you would need to prove the crime. Now, there are other things that he has said, been quoted as saying in different books. One book's, what was it called? I Alone Can Fix It, I think is the title of the book. There's a book written by Philip Rucker and Carol Loening from the Washington Post. And Milley was quoted saying, "This is a Reichstag moment," talking about the January 6th incident, comparing Trump's attempts to overturn the election to the event used to cement Nazi Germany, and referring to Trump's false statements about electoral fraud as the gospel of the Fuhrer. He was comparing Trump, while he was working for Trump, he was comparing Trump to Adolf Hitler and the Nazi government. That Trump was trying to establish a Nazi regime in the United States with him as the Fuhrer. That's what he was quoted as saying by a Washington Post book.
So now, I hate the word unpacking. It's kind of silly, but there's no evidence of or against, because you don't know a man's true intentions until he's put them forth. Now, I'm not saying that Trump was gonna start some weird Reich or anything like that. But you don't know what his intentions were. But we know from the transcript that he didn't tell those people to do what they did. That didn't happen. It's been transcribed and there's video of it. There's nothing there. So whatever the hell, and they made up stories too. Remember that story they made up about him trying to take over the driver of the limousine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, by some staffer that's never been inside that thing.
Right.
You know, saying
and even the Secret Service guy was like, "There's no way the president can touch me."
Yeah, he tried to assault a secret agent, Secret Service agent, and I was like, dude,
but the limousine is long. The president sits at the back.
I said, you need to tell me this 70-something-year-old dude all of a sudden is wants to attack the driver, turn it around, and all of a sudden, come on, all right, but. Did General Milley say that, like what you just said, like for sure?
That's what he was quoted as saying in the book, "I Alone Can Fix It," by the Washington Post.
Ah, okay. So yeah, so
reporters Philip Rucker and Carol Loening. I mean, the Washington Post is a liberal thing, so I mean.
Well, that's who he works for. That's who General Milley ultimately works for, and. My thing is that I don't know what drives a man with this much special operations and infantry experience and, you know, all this other stuff to kind of become this, but there is no two ways to look at it. I mean, he's CRT in the military is pointless. That's already been taken care of by basic training. There is no.
And with him saying what he has said, and with him holding these ideas, I mean, he's blatantly put out there that he is for one party. He is not for the United States as a whole. He is for one party. Being a general officer in the military, ideally, everybody has their political leanings. Everybody has their opinions. But he is pretty blatantly working for one party.
Right.
He is working for the Democrat Party. He is working for the woke ideology. He is working towards whatever the Democrats want him to work towards. And if Republicans are in power, he is working against them.
So
actively.
So as a brown guy, I can tell you, and having served as parachute infantry, because that's what I was. I was airborne infantry out of Bragg. I can tell you for sure that you will run into some events of either cultural insensitivity or some racism here or there. I can assure you, it didn't stop me from moving up in rank, and it didn't stop me from earning. As a matter of fact, most of the discrimination that I exhibited was from people that were Latino. You know why? You want to know why?
No, I'm good.
I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you. You know why? Because I don't talk like Tony fucking Montana. Plain and simple. My accent is very little, if any. That made me a white guy. And they hated it. I was born and raised in Latin America. I didn't live in the United States until I went in the Army. I visited the United States, but I've never lived there. The basic training in Georgia. During the summer. Yeah. I went to North Carolina. I mean, come on. I lived there for years. So, most of the discrimination was by other Latinos that were professionally jealous, or they were jealous that when they went. So it's not a matter of racism, it's a matter of practicality. If you are a white E7 and you're talking to a Hispanic and he talk back like that and his accent is terrible, and you don't think that he quite understands what you just told him, you need to get stuff done. It's not I'm not talking to you because you're Puerto Rican or because you're Dominican or because wherever the hell you're from. No, that's not the point. I'm talking to Vasquez because I know that he understands what the hell I'm saying. And I'm not entirely sure that you're grasping what I'm saying. I got time to sit there and baby you and so you can understand. I'll tell Vasquez, I'll tell you, and we can get this shit done. So they didn't like it. They didn't like it. And not to mention that, a lot of the Hispanics over there are freaking huge troublemakers. Huge troublemakers. And I was told early on by a very wise individual that the more specialized you got, the less riffraff there will be. So, and by specialized, I mean that as soon as I got my airborne wings, there's a whole mess of people from all kinds of different races that ain't going to be there when I get there. Because they don't like jumping out of airplanes. If I get a Ranger tab, or go to Ranger battalion, there's a whole mess of people. Not to say that some of those slip by, but there's a whole mess of people that ain't gonna be a Ranger battalion because they don't have time for that. Go to a freaking Special Forces group, there's a whole range of people. They ain't gonna be there. So it ain't strange to run into an A-team in the middle of freaking Baghdad or middle of Afghanistan or whatever, they're all white. You think they recruited just white people? It's open for everyone. It's open for everyone. They just don't want to do it. The riffraff does not want to subject themselves to that. So the more specialized the unit, the less riffraff. Statistically speaking, there is an overwhelming amount of white people that join the military in comparison to the other races. It's just a fact. There's more of them. They join in better numbers. They come from poor fucking parts of the nation. Good chunk of them. I mean, come on. This guy talking about white rage. The only white rage I experienced was freaking nice smoke session from a drill sergeant. The fuck are you talking about? What the fuck does white rage mean? What the fuck does that mean?
Trying to blame it on something arbitrary.
What the fuck does that mean?
Something
This fucking talking
concrete.
fucking nonsense and in circles, you fucking fuck. You treasonous fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
Because that's what he is.
That's our
That's what he is.
card edition for the week.
Yeah, that's what he is. That freaking treasonous scumbag trying to freaking divide the very freaking force that he's in command of. Trying to make that man look to the left and to the right of themselves and wonder if it's worth freaking putting your life on the line for. Trying to break the cohesion of the United States military and undermine its strength. While he's talking to China, probably about that very thing. The guy is a freaking traitor. But do your research, I'll leave you to decide.
And on that, if you have a suggestion, if you're watching this show and you're enjoying the show and you got a suggestion of who we should research to add to it, leave us a comment.
Yeah. So that's what we got for this week. We'll get into some other stuff next week. I'll be
Or the week after. It might be 2 weeks.
the week after.
Yeah.
It might be 2 weeks before we talk to you guys again. So, but don't forget, it helps us out a lot if you subscribe and hit the like button.
Right now, to try to grow the channel,
really pushes-
sharing is going to help more than anything else.
Share the video, like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, give us a push in the right direction. Remember, everything that we're talking about here gets throttled on all platforms.
Well, YouTube, we don't give a shit.
It just is what it is. We'll continue making the content for as long as we got to do it.
We talk the way we talk. We use words that we're supposed to like bleep out and censor and shit. Now fuck that. We talk the way we talk. We say what we want. We don't give a shit.
Don't care. I mean, stick around, listen to it. Something you like, put in the background when you clean or when you drive or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Entertain, open your mind's eye a little bit, and kind of inspire you to do your own research on some of this stuff. But with that, I'll let you guys go. So have a good one.